What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to JoJo Speaks, my channel. I am JoJo Speaks from Faithful Warrior Ministries. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this, my Hot Topics and Social Commentary 8 p.m. live show. Thank y'all so much for being here. Love every single one of you guys for watching. A couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So why don't you go ahead and mash that thing, y'all. Also, leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the hot topics that we are discussing on tonight. Be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks. That is a tongue twister. Share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Couple of announcements, you guys. Be sure to check out my RuPaul's Drag Race season 16. I believe it's episode 15 review on my channel. And also be sure to check out my Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 episode 5 review. Both of those videos are up live on my channel now. Please be sure to go like those videos, comment on those videos as well. Let me know you guys are enjoying those videos as well. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Once again, Jennifer will be joining us momentarily. I do want to say we are celebrating the 4th year anniversary of the passing of DMX, who was a legend in this rap game. And to me, it's still hard to believe that he's gone, because he was such an integral part of everyone's music catalog. Like everyone knew a DMX song. So so shout out and condolences to his family as they're still dealing with his loss. And I also wanted to mention before Jennifer comes on here that Ashley Darby seems like she's on a singing tour, because all of these videos of her doing her thing as far as singing is concerned have been popping up here, there, and everywhere. She in one video that I saw her doing Killing Me Softly by Roberta Flack again, she said that, they did not do the song justice. So I'm glad that she understands what everyone feels concerning that particular performance. However, the second performance, I can't say it was too much better. And then I also saw a video of Ashley singing Beyonce's Work It Out, which is actually one of my favorite Beyonce songs, low key. And her background singers, they sounded great. Like they were on it. However, Ashley missed a cue or so here or there, and didn't seem like she was too prepared for
she don't know the song.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. It seemed like she don't know that song. But hey, it is what it is. I don't want to say that I applaud Ashley, because that would be a lie. I really don't applaud her for doing her thing, but I think it's interesting that she's really stepping into this whole singing thing, and we'll see where it goes from here. Hey, Genesita, how goes it?
It's interesting that she's doubling down on the singing parts.
Yeah. It's extremely.
I don't know who feels. I guess anybody that has a little bit of money can really just try stuff,
right?
And with good money, you can have good backup singers, and
all willy-nilly.
But what bothers me is that if you want to really try to do something, you want to try to do it as good as it can be done,
the right way.
For her to not know any of the cues and stuff like that, I think that kind of really tells me that she didn't even come to practice, much less, try to study the music or whatever. Okay. Oh, I heard it on the radio about 10 to 20 years ago. I'll be good.
Right. I'm good. Yeah.
That was the one with Austin Powers, right? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Gold member. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Beyonce was in that one. She was in that one. It was for the soundtrack. Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah. Come on, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. And she got on that stage and she went on.
Yeah, it was a lot. But her background singers, they sounded, is y'all all right? Like they had it down pat. So they clearly were, they were clearly present for rehearsals.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
So respect. I've never had a whole lot of respect for Ashley Darby in the first place. And what little respect that I might have been looking at through the window has now gone on the street.
Through what window? Was it a particular?
Because usually, I could have said the respect is out the window. Okay. But it was already out the window because I never really had respect for her.
Okay.
And now it's just going down the street. It's not even in view at this point. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I could have
Who
kinda respected her for, her shenanigans with staying married to her husband without being with her husband and making sure to get a house out of it, stuff like that I can respect, like,
she
okay,
was
that's
she
why I
was
was looking.
trying to get her bag. She
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
trying to get
yeah.
her bag, yeah.
That's why I could see, like, okay, maybe the respect is here, but no.
And I honestly thought Ashley was smarter than this, but I
We
guess
have
not.
apparently given her way too much credit, sweetheart.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's definitely what it
It
seems like.
bothers my shows my shondo. But anywho, I'm doing pretty well. I'm really, really happy. It is Thursday. I was about to say Saturday. Jesus.
It is Friday Eve. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's close enough. And I'm already in Saturday. I'm excited to chill. I'm excited to think about cruises some more. Keep calm, cruise on.
Yes, I love that shirt
Cru-
for
thinking
you.
about okay. Thinking about great things. And I'm also considering a birthday request gift from you.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you know what I think about. More than likely, it's gonna be along the same lines the last time I asked you forever ago for a gift. Um,
Because I'm thinking it's gonna be one of those records. That's what I'm thinking is going to be. Okay, all
I
right,
wanna
yeah.
but I'm
And
trying
I
to figure
got you
out.
one the last time, didn't I?
Yeah,
Didn't I?
you got me Renaissance on,
I remember. I
vinyl,
remember. Okay, all right.
and I happily still have that,
Is it still in its
and
original packaging?
yeah. Child, I haven't even
Okay,
opened up that thing. The only time I'm gonna open it up is once we get the record player in here.
okay,
Tyrone's already been looking at, furniture for the house
okay.
to, put the record player on there and to store our records. But I'm
Wonderful.
really kind of like iffy on exactly what record I want. 'Cause there's a lot of classic, but there's also some new stuff that I want to make sure I have, but to be honest, I might just ask for Cowboy Carter, more than
Oh,
likely.
wow. Okay. If I ever do get into that gig, I think there's really only one record that I would want, and that would be Amy Winehouse's Back to Black. I just want to hear that record on a record player
On
the
a
old
record
school
player,
way.
yeah.
Like I would love to hear that the old school way. So yeah. Do we have any comments to get to, Genesita?
Of course. Dustin is here, hey.
Hey Dustin.
Of course, Miss Kim is here, she says, "Hey, Jonathan.
Good evening, Miss Kim. So happy you're here.
Good evening unto you." Uh,
Yes.
Robin says, "Hey, Joe Nathan."
Hey,
Hey, Miss
Auntie
Robin.
Robin.
Miss Kim says Ashley needs to stop it. Let
It
it
would be
go.
nice. It
Let
would be
it go.
nice.
And you know what makes it even worse? I'm sorry, I got to go even further into this.
It's okay. Proceed.
What makes it even worse to me is like you don't even have confidence in what you're doing. You can see it all over your face. Like, was that the note?
She seems so unsure of herself, and that's really annoying.
Like
Like
when you see
really
the
annoying.
back of your head during
While
the
the spotlight is on you and the microphone is in your hand. Yeah.
and confusion is upon your face. Like, did I do that right? Like we can see you, girl. You're not backstage. We can see you.
Right.
But that's another thing that bothers me. We can tell that you're out here just winging it.
Winging it.
Like Chrissy Lampkin says. That's all you boy, that was
Was
that
that
was
not an iconic line? Like, and it was so true. So true.
it was literally what she was doing out there. And what's crazy, Samaya, that's what her name was.
I think it
So
was, yes.
Samaya was literally out there winging it, and what really made that whole thing so funny, she was like, "No, I'm not. I'm just out here doing it like the best that I can." Yeah, that's what you're
That's
winging
winging
it.
it. That's winging it. I love me some Chrissy. Like I just have so much respect for Chrissy, and she
Yeah.
was so perfect for that show. And I just
Yes.
hate that it ended the way that it did with her on the show.
Mhm.
Her not wanting to talk to Mona Scott Young on that. I think it was that second season reunion,
But she got it
where
started though.
she did get it started. And
Especially
yeah,
when she who was that she put fist to face to? Um,
Yandy. No,
no.
it was
First time it was Kim Bella.
Kim Bella. Yeah, yeah, Kim
And
Bella.
I agree with every bit of that moment.
I mean,
It's
because we got our homegirl over here whose whole storyline has been
we're
her uncertainty.
celebrating.
We're celebrating her independence now, but her whole storyline has been her connection with this famous rapping man named Fabulous, Fabulous.
Come on.
And you have the nerve to say, well,
nerve.
you know, I dated him back in the day, and I just wanted you to know. I just wanted it to be clear. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like the reason why I enjoyed Chrissy, not saying that she's right in any terms, but she felt like she did what she was supposed to do.
Right,
Um,
exactly. Friend code.
because it's like, hold on. She said to herself, if this was me, she'd be getting the foot to her midsection. And it's
Exactly.
like, well, I liked her, so that's good enough for me. And she went she went in and gave
And
Kimbella literally what she was requesting.
and this yellow-haired bitch is getting on my gosh darn nerves, okay? Like, for real, for real.
Oh my gosh.
Honey,
It was necessary because you know Emily wasn't gonna do nothing.
of course not. Of course not.
It
She
just
won't
be
even
like
raise her voice. I don't even think I ever heard her raise her voice at anyone. So,
that whole moment was just so weird. Like, so this is the time that you choose to do that. This is why you don't bring weird people around, new people around. We over here trying to celebrate, but you want to what? Bring me down.
and I never saw the connection with her and Joel Santana. So let me tell y'all the crush that I had on Joel Santana back in the day, in those early Dipset days. Child, I thought he was the finest thing since Ludacris, honey. But you know, it
I
is what
bet
it
you it
is.
had something to do with that bandana he was wearing.
Had a lot to do with that. Yeah, it did. It did. And the funny thing is, he doesn't even have like big lips. And I was always big on big lips, but he
Uh-huh.
was just fine to me. But
He
anyways,
just a regular roundaway boy. Okay.
okay.
Anywho, Miss Robert said hello to Miss Kim. Miss Kim said hey to myself. Look, phone. Nobody talking to you. Dang, never. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
It's
Hey,
okay.
Miss Kim. Um, Robin says Ashley has no shame.
No.
Uh, excuse me. Robin said Ashley has no shame and a limited ability to stay on key, pitch, tone. The big question is why.
Why?
No, I
Yeah.
don't have a reason why. Excuse me, I have a reason why. Because she wishes that she had other forms of income. She wishes that Real Housewives of
Mm.
Potomac was the only way her and her ex-husband to be possibly, if they aren't already, I doubt they're divorced yet.
It hasn't been finalized. At least not that it hasn't been announced to have been finalized yet.
Yeah. I believe she really wishes that she had more streams of income.
And her divorce is taking
And
longer than Kenya's divorce, child. This is taking a minute.
she ain't
She's
trying
been
to get
talking about
divorced
it for the last 3 seasons.
so she can have something to talk about.
Right. A
She ain't trying to get the
storyline.
divorce of that man. Um,
Okay.
Robin says, "Hi, Genesita. Like Joe Nathan, Genesita populates on my phone.
I love that.
Thanks."
I love that.
Miss Kim says Michael is way smarter. Yeah, he knew what he was doing with Ashley. Well, that's what you do when you are a man of a certain age and have a certain amount of money in the bank, and you
Okay.
get with a youngin. You at some point you got to keep it real.
You got to get somebody who don't know no good. And he did just that.
Just that. Dustin says excited for the topics tonight. Thank you, Dustin.
That's awesome.
And Miss Kim says Kim, Bella, Emily, and Chrissy are 3 different types of fool. All the men were trash. Literally. Literally.
Yeah.
It's like they wanted men, but the people that they were and are with are not that. And we're expecting that from somebody that's just not there.
They
What
had the dream that every girl has, of
Yes.
marrying her Prince Charming. And they were in those relationships on a hope and a dream
Come on.
that would never come to fruition.
That's real.
And it was so amazing to me when Chrissy actually, and I'm so surprised that we're still talking about this, but it was
It was
so
good stuff, Jonathan.
yeah, right. It was so amazing to me that Chrissy proposed to Jim Jones. Because it
Deplorable.
says a whole lot about your relationship when that happens. It says a whole lot about your relationship when that happens. Now, I'm not saying that, tradition is everything
Mm-mm.
when it comes to heterosexual relationships. However, it shows a lack of something in the midst.
I'll say this with my whole chest, Jonathan.
Say it.
When it comes to a heterosexual relationship,
Mhm.
the man has to want it.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
know that we have seen it over and over again. Men leave a woman, then within 6 months, they're married to somebody else
Right.
because they
Yeah.
found what they wanted.
Exactly. What they wanted to who they wanted to marry. Exactly.
When they want you, they will marry you.
Right.
And if you let them be themselves, as in being out and about in these streets,
Okay.
they're going to stick around because they have somebody that's putting up with their foolishness.
And they make it easy. Those girls make it
Yeah.
easy. Yeah.
But I think about, other rappers up in that same area, like your Method Mans, like your LL Cool J's. Them people been
Mhm.
married since the freaking
Since
80s or
back in the
the
days.
90s. They've
Right.
been married and they still together because
Right.
they found their one. Though LL Cool
Exactly.
J, he did play the fool a little bit. He did wise up just a little bit because I think he had some really good women in his life, like his
Right.
grandmother and mother and stuff like that.
Agreed.
And he came to the realization around the time he was doing that Mr. Smith album, what they're doing it, you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
got married.
Mhm.
So after being together for forever, right?
Yeah.
So when a man knows what he wants, he will have you. You will never have to get on your knee for a man because a man that truly wants to be yours would actually pick you up and say, "Girl, if you don't get up, I was trying to."
Okay. I was gonna do that next month. You beat me to it.
And just to spread even more awareness, okay? When I was giving Tyrone McCullum ultimatum, he had the rings in his bag. I'm done.
Love that. I love that. Let's move on to our actual hot topics, y'all.
Yeah, my bad.
Um,
Wait, hold on.
okay.
Robert says, "Don't you know no good?"
Hey, that's it, Auntie Robin. That is it right there.
Miss Kim says, Michael is paying Ashley just enough to sustain herself and the boys. She married golems, and he backed her into a corner. Well then.
Mm.
Well then. And Mr. Robert says, "Yep." Please, but thank you for entertaining us in this conversation about that. Man, everything was so much better when it first came out. But go ahead, I'm a
It
hush.
was, wasn't it? Like it seems like it just went to the ish. Like for real, it
The
really
crapper.
went downhill. I feel like the last really good season was when Joe Budden was on there with Tahiri. I did love that season,
Hmm.
even though I did not like Rashida on that show. Like,
Oh no.
right,
She was
she,
out for me. I couldn't stand her.
scammer.
Okay.
Even though she was gorgeous, she was a
Mhm.
gorgeous woman, beautiful
Oh
figure,
yeah.
but and then her whole storyline with Remy Ma and then Yandy, it was just
No,
it was too much.
I was over Yandy from the beginning. So I never really liked
That's true.
Yandy like
Yeah.
that. Even to this day. I don't even watch it. And when I look at Yandy and the foolishness, you see the foolishness that she doing now?
She's putting up with Mendici's BS proudly with her
He
head held high. Head held high. That is my husband.
okay,
Okay.
and we're gonna use that word loosely, honey. Husband.
Loosely, girl.
And it's like going back the season that I was really watching of the New York, I did like Erica Mena for the foolishness that she bought, though I know that she had issues. And I didn't like I didn't like Olivia. It's a lot. I'm starting to realize I didn't like a lot of people on there. I didn't like Olivia because she thought she was something that she wasn't. Um and I loved Cardi B on there.
Oh yes,
Even mommy
absolutely.
loved Cardi B.
She did.
Child.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Cardi B was so perfect for that show, and yet she was so new to the reality TV show game. It's almost like she took a master class in reality TV, and she just got she got the
She
passing
didn't
grade.
she didn't need to. Can I tell you why?
Why?
She's never had a problem with being herself and being transparent and let
That's
her
it.
heart be on her sleeve.
Right.
That's why she was good in the reality and on the internets,
Yeah.
Instagram, her just sharing how she feels and all that stuff, her talking about the coronavirus before anybody was talking about the coronavirus, the stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Boy. Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna hush for real. I ain't playing with you.
You promise?
Yeah.
So thousands participate in a hands-off rallies across the country as they protest against Donald Trump and Elon Musk's recent policies. This did not surprise me. I could have seen this coming from a mile away. What I found very interesting, though, is it seemed to be a sea of white as I saw those pictures coming across. I'm so glad that we, as a people, we stayed our black behinds home. We were minding our business. You know what I'm saying? Eating our whatnots and drinking our Kool-Aid, red Kool-Aids, and we were just doing our thing, but I'm not sure what can be done at this point. I'm
Mhm.
really struggling with what is it that we can do to make a change because the man is in office for at least the next 3.5 years. And there's absolutely nothing we can do about that. But I do think, though, that things can change in the Senate and in the Congress. That things can go from a Republican-led Senate and House and is it House Rep? Yeah, House of Representatives to Democratic-led Senate and House of Representatives. So things can change. I'm sure things can change. However, these tariffs are a whole lot. And these other countries aren't backing down. And when I hear, and I'm sorry that I have to talk about Donald Trump. I'm just putting it out there. Y'all could, mute this if you need to, but I'm just putting it out there, and then we'll let it go. We'll let it go. This is the only time we're going to talk about the man on tonight's show. I saw him in an interview saying that other countries are begging him to negotiate,
Ooh,
when then
girl.
he's going to say that he's not negotiating. So it's so confusing, and then I saw a representative being questioned by the House about
Come on now.
about the tariffs being put on hold for 90 days or something of that nature, and it had happened as the man was sitting down, and he had no idea that it was happening.
Okay.
The foolishness is running rampant,
Foolishness and folly.
and folly. The tomfoolery is rampant. And I'm so glad that, when I saw Barack Obama saying, what if I had done all this? You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? Like,
girl.
what if Barack Obama had the nerve to do the things that Donald Trump has the nerve to do? And I'm so happy that Barack Obama is who it is. He represented what he represented for the time that he represented it. And it makes me love him that much more because he got good sense. And the men in the White House don't seem to have that at all. Common sense, they do common these days. It seems like anyways, Jennifer, what were your thoughts on the rallies, and what do you think will come out of this this outcry? Because we've seen them in town halls all across the country that these Republicans are speaking out about their disgust about what's happening out here. So, what do you see in our future?
I'm not looking towards it because it's not my problem. That's number
Okay,
one.
okay.
Number one. Number two, with the rallies and stuff, I really did enjoy being able to see people really enjoy themselves. As rallies were walking by, I saw a video actually this morning. Should have sent it to you of a group of Black people having brunch. Um,
Yes.
on a like a porch thing, so it was like open air and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
And
On like a roof?
no, 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 it was like,
Okay.
floor, but like the windows were up, you know what I'm saying? If it
Oh,
were
okay.
windows and stuff like that. In a nice enclosure, everybody has shades on, just enjoying life and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And the actual protest was walking by them. An older Caucasian fellow was like this. You could see him off in the corner like this, like, come on. And they let him look back there like, and continue to enjoy herself. Let me tell you
Okay, and
something.
drink her mimosa more than likely. Okay.
Exactly. I think it's really awesome that collectively we have listened to our ancestors to know that it's not our turn to fight. It is your turn to fight. And I do like to see how I like to see how there were a lot of Caucasian people that spoke up and said the reason why the bulk of the if not all of the protests were peaceful
Mm,
was because, there was no people of color. And it's like, yeah, because of the way that the police act around people of color. They'd be doing all the tear gas. They'd be doing all the batons and forcefully trying to push people back and stuff like that if it were a group of minorities.
and
So
the thi
yes,
the
y'all do
funny
it.
the funny thing to me is that it seemed like these crowds were bigger than those BLM crowds. However, with those BLM crowds, it seems like there was always police presence there, and I did not see any police.
And
And
that's another thing we have to remember. We are still the minority in America.
yet and still,
So that's why when the Caucasians came out, you see a lot more people because there's a lot more of them out in this
right?
country, in every
Exactly.
state. So I believe they did what they were supposed to do, and they need to continue to fight so that this country can get back on track. And we will support by, I support by making sure to not spend my money in specific places and
Hmm.
things of that nature. But I'm not going to get outside and put any African American lives at risk.
No, especially
Um,
mine.
okay. And lastly, with the tariff stuff, when I look at it, all I think about is he's making a mess
Hmm.
just so he can make some deals, just so he can, make his life better, make the people around him their life better, and things of that nature. So he's just playing with America and our stability as a country to benefit him
Hmm.
and his
Yeah,
homies. So, that's okay, homies. So,
that's how
person
Donna would do it.
okay. So, personally, I I'm not putting my eyes on it too tough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I am happy to see that, there are a lot of, federal judges that are pushing back on a lot
Hmm.
of things that's happening. There are representatives and senators trying, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't feel too bad, like with Cory Booker last week with what he did. Um, People are trying stuff. And I
Right.
mean, at the end of the day, that's all that we can ask. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to put my hope in a
Hmm.
deranged man.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to put my trust in God.
Okay.
There's money still flowing into this house. I hope that you think about your home and what's going on. There's no need to be concerned about what's going on out there.
Right.
Um,
And I also want to say just really quickly, hearing about all of these immigrants and different people from America being sent to that prison in El Salvador, and these like it seems like so many, like a majority of them are innocent people being yanked from their families and their
mm,
children. It's mind-boggling to me. And I just have to say my thoughts and prayers are out to all of those who have been affected by that happening, because I've heard that prison in El Salvador is considered one of the worst in the
it
world. And
is. I've
so
seen videos.
it's just so sad to me. And I saw that a federal judge ruled that they need to bring one man back in particular. I
Yes.
can't remember what his name is at this moment. His name escapes me, but it's crazy that they're doing this. It's so crazy that they're doing this. But,
And
yeah,
it's unfortunate that, the federal justice judges have to
have
really
to.
do all the work to try to right some wrongs here. But I pray
Yeah,
that we will get back everything that the devil has attempted to steal from us.
that's right. That is right. Any comments before we move on to the next topic, girl?
Dustin says we can do a talk to the Democrats when the House. Oh yes, in 2026 mid-election elections in state, everybody.
Midterms.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Robin says, "I think that man not alive." Oh, Lord Jesus.
Mm. Uh, let's move on past that, okay?
We pray the best in Jesus'
Yes.
name.
So, Miss Carrie Hilson, Miss Carrie Hilson is back out here in these streets. What was that reaction for,
I'm sorry.
girl? She has a new song out that's sampling "A Baby, A Baby, A Baby, A Baby," and it's cute, I guess,
What
if
you
you
think?
like that.
What you think about it?
I Out of all the songs to sample, um, that would not be my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 100th song to
Oh,
consider personally.
for an
But
R&B hit?
I mean, it was cute for the moment, but
For
I
what?
would
For not a whole lot of moments.
I think I would sample Shoulder Lean before I sample A Baby, because Shoulder Lean was my shit, y'all. I'm telling you, like, hey, and like whatever his name was, I forgot what his name was. I
Young
was about to say
Dro.
Shorty Low, but it's not. Yes, Young Dro. He was so cool with it. He was so cool
Yeah.
with anyway, so she has this new song out sampling that song. And all I saw was the cast of the Friend Zone featuring Justin Ross, Asante, and their other friend. I can't remember exactly what her name is, but they brought up the subject. And the girl in the group actually guessed that she sampled "A Baby." Anyways, that was just based off of the name of the song. I think the name of the song has something to do with
Bay.
Bay. Anyway,
It's called
with
Bay.
all that being said, Carrie Hilson was on the Breakfast Club, and she revealed, and this is not the first time that I've heard this, but she revealed that she was pretty much forced to do the Turning Me On remix, where she kind of came for, not kind of, where she blatantly came for Beyonce and Sierra. She said that she was working with Pola the Don at the time, and Pola the Don was pushing and pushing and pushing. Her album hadn't come out by that time yet, and so he was threatening her that her album would not come out, and that she's got to come to the studio and do this thing. And she said that there was another writer in the room, and when she said that there was another writer, and she hadn't revealed the name of the other writer because she said that that writer is still out there, I knew exactly who she was talking about. I knew she
Me
was talking about
too.
right.
Before it was even revealed, I knew exactly who it was. Wow.
Exactly. Like, yeah, because like a writer that would have been relevant back then and now, Esther Dean is the only person that I can think
Immediately.
of immediately.
Immediately.
And so Esther Dean was in the room, because the thing is, Carrie Hilson is a songwriter. So it's interesting to me that they would choose someone else to write this type of track.
Yeah.
Like, they really wanted to make a mark. So they really wanted to,
They
you know,
asked her to do this.
cause some damage. And Esther Dean actually came out and said that she's sorry for the part that she played in it. So I'm so glad that she came out and revealed herself. Oh, go ahead, Jennifer.
But right after she said sorry, she just said, "And did." That don't sound like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
It
didn't
don't
catch
sound
that.
like it don't sound like you really, are, "Man, I feel bad about this." No,
Right.
when it came out and some people said, like, Esther said, "And did." Like, hold on, that don't sound like you sorry. Moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, but for Carrie Hilson being so young at the time, being so new to the game, and the pressure that she was probably feeling. She was signed to Polo the Don. She was signed to Timberland at that time. And so to feel like you have literally your hands handcuffed behind your back, and it's like, if you don't do it, your album's not coming out. If you don't do it, we're not going to support you. Or, whatever threats they may have thrown her way for a young person like that in that position. And then the backlash that she received, and the onslaught of hate that she received from so many people after that. The thing is, I think those producers knew what was going to happen. Like, there's no way that
I
they
don't
did not know. How could they not know that was going to happen to her? Like, how could they not know? But then I'm like, well, if they're supporting her and they're behind her, then maybe they wanted Carrie Hilson to make a statement, and maybe that will put her up on the map. But that was the wrong way to do it, y'all. Like so wrong. And I love Turning Me On. When I tell you, I was bumping Turning Me
Child,
On
yeah.
in my Ford Explorer like nobody's business
Come
at the
on.
highest of levels, honey. I
Come
mean,
on,
because
that thing had bass.
that bass, honey, like the way that it just starts out, girl, it's everything to me. But I just feel so bad for Carrie Hilson. And I like some Carrie Hilson songs. Pretty Girl Rock. I love that song, Pretty Girl Rock. I really do. I love the song Energy. I think that's a beautiful song. I think she sings it
Yeah.
absolutely amazingly. But I just feel so bad for her because she didn't even want to do it. She didn't even want to do it. And I can tell, like, I believe Carrie Hilson's story concerning this remix. Like, I completely believe it. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but it makes this much sense to me because Carrie Hilson seems to be like a smart girl. And I'm thinking that she probably had a feeling that these might be the repercussions of doing something as big as she did to the people that she
I
did
don't
it
think
to.
so, Jonathan. Let's
Go
think
ahead.
about this. Have you ever heard of something like that to that degree happen like that before?
Not in the R&B side
Mhm.
of music.
And
It
you
had been
know with
happening in rap, but not in
yeah.
R&B, no.
Now you know with R&B, uh, like, they always like to pit girls against each other,
Right,
all the way down to, Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and, all
right.
these other people. I believe they wanted to create
Mm,
a beef of sorts
yeah,
so that there can be a little whoo razzle dazzle in the air,
right.
but I personally believe they stirred that up so that they can try to launch Carrie Hilson. Rather, they didn't get what they thought they were going to get. They got the absolute total opposite.
Mhm.
Either it's that or they didn't like Beyonce. But then again, that's really stupid
Because
because
they worked with Beyonce thereafter, so, but hey, who's
and
gonna
then on top
turn
of
down
that,
Beyonce? Right,
that's their artist. Why would they want to tank or,
yeah, exactly.
way down their own artist? So I really do believe it was about creating a rival like situation, and they people would like think of it like it's a rap battle, but this ain't rap. This is R&B. This is for the
Right,
songstresses. This is for the writers. What makes you think that having a beef like that is going to take things any further? But can I
right.
tell you that what doesn't make things any better?
What?
All of those interviews when they mentioned Beyonce, she was like, "Oh, it's Beyonce's birthday."
Yes, that one right there. Like that one right. But I think it's because that happened after her whole remix came out and she had already been getting all the hate from the Beyonce fans. So I know she was feeling some type of way, maybe not even about Beyonce herself, but just at the situation as a whole, you
And
know.
this is why she needed to be a part of the Matthew Knowles School of what's it called, press or whatever, or public
Artistry.
relations.
I don't know.
Public relations. If she would have dug deep, and every time they said beyond the name Beyonce, she would have found a genuine actress within herself
Yes.
and say, "Happy birthday, Beyonce."
Love you, girl.
Okay. And left it like that and understand and know that those cameras are still rolling after that microphone drop.
Right.
Thank you guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that. Y'all, people think I hate her, but that's not even the case. And keep it pushing.
Right. Yeah, she didn't
She
do it
would
right.
have been in a lot better state, and it would have been a lot more difficult to be able to say, "Oh, she hates she doesn't hate Beyonce." It's like,
He kind of
you
fed
know,
into it a little bit,
she did, and it did
but
not
kind of by
help.
default, she kind of fed into it by
It
default.
didn't help. It didn't help.
No, it didn't at all.
Um, but for that to come out now, it's like thank you. Robin said media training. Thank you. She needed
Mhm.
media training because she could have, you know, not made it so easy to be like Carrie. But I can say at least they didn't say she was selling fish plates in front of Walmart.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Miss Robin says, but they really aren't the um, Supreme Court of the United States sided with T. Rump administration. Robert says what he think he don't really like it. Well then. Um, Miss Kim says, I like Carrie Hilson. I hate that she got caught up the way she did. I am not in the mind that Beyonce is the greatest and can't be dissed. You know, I just didn't feel that this was necessary.
It wasn't. Not even at that time,
Not
because I
even, yeah,
think
exactly. Not even at that
because
time.
this was before she was at like icon status, because I think that came out in her B-Day era, I
Yeah.
believe. So that was only her second album. And you know, I think that was even before the Beyonce Experience came out, because that's when I really got attached to Beyonce. But it's just it's I just she's just no one is exempt from a diss. I don't believe anyone should be
But this
exempt
ain't
from a
rap
diss, but
though.
right, exactly. You know, that kind of stuff should be done in the background, like Aretha and Patty. You know what I'm saying? It should be lure. It should be, controversy or
Yeah.
controversy. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole thing about it, but not nothing validated. Whereas something like this makes it seem as though, or makes us think that you feel a certain way about someone when you really don't. That's just
You
ugh.
shouldn't have said you shouldn't have said nothing. You shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But I guess, they pushed her and pushed her and said, "We're not gonna drop it," but they spent all that money on you. I think you could have leveraged something. I'm sorry. If they spend so much money to not put you out, you gotta move on, but I would not have dissed somebody else, and there's no actual beef,
Right.
especially no known beef. Like, if we knew there was something, but, like, when that came out, I was like, "Wait, like, what? Where'd that come
Right.
from?"
Exactly.
So, it just felt that's I think that's why so many people came so hard at her because it was just like, "Where that what was that?"
And saying she needs to sit down, it's like really like
"Girl, you ain't had no time to stand up. Why you telling people to sit down?"
exactly. You barely set it up. You ain't got no album out, girl.
"Girl!" So, yeah, it just wasn't necessary. It just came out of nowhere for me, in my
Like
opinion.
like like Beyonce said to Tamar and Got to Be Real. Your album doesn't even have a name.
Robin says, speaking of Rester Dean, did you watch that reality show where people pitched songs and got coaching from writers and artists recorded the song? I really liked it. I never watched that, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I
I
know
actually
of that
don't
show.
remember that show.
No,
Wow.
it was a show, it was a songwriter show.
Okay.
Um, Miss Kim says Polo is trifling. He said carry up. Exactly.
Did. Absolutely did, for
And you see where
sure.
he at now. But then
Okay.
again, I do like a lot of his music though. I like his
He
beats.
got a lot of hits. He
He got a
really
lot of
do
hits.
have a
Ooh,
lot
child.
of hits.
I need to write that down. Look at some Polo
Polo Productions.
Polo Productions.
Because he got him, girl. He do got him. Okay.
And Miss Kim says Esther Dean has legit beef with Beyonce. But wow, so Miss Kim, like, I'm trying to figure out how she continue to write for the woman though. I
Because she
think
wrote
that's
one.
weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure they weren't in the same room, but why she choosing her stuff? I guess she just choosing whatever's best.
Choosing to cash that check, honey. Okay. Because you know that Beyonce check go through.
Oh,
Okay. Be
it
deposited.
clears.
Okay. Yes.
But
Who gonna
but
turn down a Beyonce check? Like, for real.
but still, like, even for Esther Dean to act like that, like, and did, like, now we know this is why people don't need to be on Twitter.
Right.
We don't need to know your first thought immediately. Some
Yeah.
people we just don't need to know your first thought because now I'm looking at Esther Dean totally different now. Okay, I'm sorry. That's enough. God bless.
It's okay. It's good. It's completely fine. It is all right. So, our forever First Lady, Miss Michelle Obama, I'm not sure if she was on her podcast or if she was doing an interview, but she said that because she has not been accompanying her husband, the first Black president of the United States, Barack Obama, to certain events, people are speculating that they're headed to divorce court. And you know what I found funny, and I told mommy this earlier today. I don't believe it's us that's making these claims or us that are alleging that they might be breaking up. And I feel as though because we saw them together so much during Barack Obama's presidency, they were together all of the time. Now that they're out of the White House and we don't seem to see them together nearly as much, but for huge events like the inauguration or a funeral here or there or a prestigious funeral or something of that nature. But other than that, we really only see them separately. And that's because Barack Obama is a businessman and Michelle Obama is a businesswoman. They are out here getting their coin, and they probably meet back at the ranch and just do their thing. And it reminds me of Sheryl Lee Ralph. Sheryl Lee Ralph lives in California and she's married to a senator in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. And that's just how their marriage works. That's not to compare to Barack Obama and Michelle. I'm assuming that they're closer than that, but aesthetically or physically, I mean. But Michelle does her thing. Like, Michelle is not
Absolutely.
stay up under my husband type of woman. Michelle is,
and I'm pretty sure that's why he with her in the first place.
Exactly. Because I don't think Barack would want a woman that would be solely dependent on him. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I think that's part of the reason why so many people are saying those things. I bet you there's a lot of women out there that wish they can live and be their own individual within their marriage. Exactly. Like she is. So it doesn't even look like any kind of right for him to be at this funeral and her not to be there, her to be able to say, I ain't coming to this thing. Every Black woman that I saw on TikTok talking about this, her not being at that funeral.
Right.
But Cheryl said, I ain't going over there.
And
I was like, all right.
And sit by him? And sit by that man?
Come on! No.
You got me fucked up.
And I bet you she saw that seating chart.
She saw that seating chart, girl.
And I know Barack was like, all right, I'll see you.
I'll take one for the team, homie. I'll take one for the team.
Okay, and keep it pushing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a woman doing her thing. She doesn't have to be. And see, and when people keep on saying she needs to run for president, she didn't even want her husband to be president. What makes you think she's gonna do it?
And it's so interesting to me that it seems to be so out of everyone's concept of what a woman is or who a woman is, for a woman, like a Black woman, mind you, like Michelle Obama, to have her own identity and her identity not be tied up with a man. It's something that these other people don't understand. These people don't understand it. And it's not for you to understand, because that's not the life that you live in. You probably wish you could live that life. You probably wish you could be out here doing your own thing, getting your own money, being the businesswoman that you were born to be. Honey, shout out to our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama. Still out here dipping and doing it. I love that she's embracing the natural styles. And I find it so interesting that she did what she thought was right while she was in the White House and did not do too much natural stuff while she was in the White House, but because she knew there would probably be a jarring reaction to those types of hairstyles. But I'm so glad that she's in her bag, and I'm so glad that she's doing her thing. And I'm so glad that she has her own identity. And it's so powerful. And it's so encouraging to other Black women, and women in particular, but Black women especially, to have your own voice. Have to have your own voice.
Your own
and
identity.
Don't let no man take your voice from you, man or woman, but especially a man take your voice away from you.
Yeah, there's I love that. I love that. And just the thought, it is lightning and thundering out here. So if you lose me, just keep on going. I'll hit you up via cellular phone device. Okay.
Okay.
Anywho, but I just love that she said it out loud.
Yes.
Just to confirm, like, look, she not only said, no, I'm not getting a divorce. Not only did she not say that, she said, people just they don't want to see me out here dipping and doing it.
Dipping and doing it. Okay.
and got
Michelle Obama getting that leg up, honey. Okay.
okay.
She getting the leg up.
It made me think about I don't know if you've seen that meme where she was like this
I probably have, yeah.
doing during one of those things where they were
Oh, she was doing the Dougie. Is that the one it
she wasn't
was?
doing it like no, she was just jigging to some music because
Oh,
they
okay.
had a whole lot of music back in the back when they were in there.
Black
Um,
music.
Miss Kim says Michelle has a new podcast with her brother. It's really good.
I saw her
Yes.
interview with Kiki Palmer. I thought it was beautiful, and Kiki's wig in that interview was everything, honey. Kiki be on the wig
Kiki's
game,
been
honey.
on it.
She's
Like
been on it.
not it's no, okay. I'll have to say on it in another level. She's taken it to another level
Yeah,
recently in these last few days. And I just thank God that she's just another person that I love just because she's herself.
absolutely, absolutely. It's beautiful to see. Um, I don't know if I want to talk about this whole list that Billboard put out of the top 10 best female rappers of all time and who's
Oh
at the top of
girl.
the list. Child, I would just leave.
Well, go
Go,
ahead.
go, go ahead, Jennifer.
I was just gonna say, let's just make sure we say this is just an opinion situation because
Clearly,
did they say they were going based off of sales? Because if they were going based off of sales, it's like okay, you know what I'm saying?
I,
Their
I can
numbers
I can get that, but of all time, of all the times,
all the times.
of all the times,
Okay.
I'm gonna just leave that there. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm referring to. I ain't even gotta bring the lady name out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll go ahead and mention the other 9 artists on the list. Missy Elliott is number 2, Lauryn Hill's number 3, Lil Kim's number 4, Queen Latifah's number 5, MC Light is number 6, Salt and Pepper's number 7, Roxanne Shante is number 8, Eve is number 9, and Foxy Brown is number 10. So there's a list for y'all. Y'all do whatever it is y'all want with that. But that I don't even think there should be a list. Like it doesn't matter. It really at the very end of the day, it really don't matter. It really don't matter at all.
Absolutely.
Period. Um excuse me. So something that we talked about that actually came up I think it was either last week or the week before that concerning Birdman and Tony Braxton.
Give me one
Um,
second. Miss Kim said. Miss Kim said, "Who's number one?"
do I have to say it?
Say it.
Nicki Minaj was number 1 on Billboard's list of best female rappers of all time.
Yay!
Anyways, moving forward. So it's been reported. I'm not sure if this has been confirmed, but it's reported that Tony Braxton and Birdman secretly tied the knot last year. Tony allegedly filed for divorce weeks later, but the couple dismissed the petition. Now, I had said on my previous show that I hope that this was not the case. I had said that Father, please, Lord, please, Jesus, please, baby Jesus, Mary and Joseph,
Jesus.
please let it not be true. I
Please.
don't like it's if she want to be with him, fine. Let her get her rocks off with a man. But so please just don't.
Mm.
But I've the thing about Tony is I don't see Tony with a man. I don't see her with anyone, to be honest. Like, just like kind of like Sheree Whitfield. Like, I don't see Sheree with nobody. Like, it would be kind of weird for me to see her with somebody. So with Tony, it's like I wish. It's like I want to know more information. However, at the same exact time, I don't want to know any information. But I can't say that I was shocked to hear this news because I really wasn't. It wasn't a surprise to me whatsoever. But I just hope that Tony's happy. I just hope that Tony is happy. I just hope that she is happy. I just hope that she is. I just hope it. I'm just on a prayer. I'm just hoping that Tony's happy. Jennifer, did this surprise you in any way, shape, and or form?
Child, this wasn't even on my radar. So,
Okay.
Miss Kim said BS.
That's what I hope it is. I hope it is BS. I hope that it is
I think
BS.
that was responding to the
Oh,
number
Nicki
one.
Minaj. Okay, okay. Uh,
But yeah, I'm not here for it. I don't like it because he's an unsavory character. And to be honest, I can't see her marrying nobody, just to be real with you.
Nobody.
I really
But now
can't.
I'll put it out there. Her first husband was fine. That was a fine man, her
Well, yeah,
manager. But just like you, Jennifer, I really don't see her with anyone at all. I just see her just dipping and doing it by her damn self.
we could only hope, right?
Yeah, 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 we can. Excuse me. So
Certainly.
Lizzo was on Sibling Rivalry, which is with Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange from RuPaul's Drag Race, and she declared that Janet Jackson is the queen of pop, and she was saying that she got so much backlash from so many fans, mainly people who were saying that Madonna is the queen of pop. Here's my opinion on it, my humble opinion on it. I
The
love Janet
humblest of
Jackson.
opinions.
I love Janet Jackson. I was introduced to her in '98 when I heard I Get Lonely. And then when I saw her Velvet Rope tour on ABC Family, which was channel number 20 back in the day, like I fell in love with her. But for me, I feel as though giving Janet Jackson the title of Queen of Pop puts Janet in a box because to me, Janet is
Mm.
so much more than pop. Um, Whereas Michael Jackson, on the other hand, I guess you can say Michael Jackson did so much more than pop as well, but especially for Janet, I feel like Janet ventured into other genres a little bit more than Michael did, whereas Michael, in my opinion, focused more on the pop side of things. However, I don't disagree with Lizzo on her thoughts. Her example was the fact that Britney Spears is an imitation of Janet Jackson, which is
It's
so
just
true.
true.
And,
Yeah.
and and every time that I heard or that I saw a Britney thing, a behind the scenes Britney thing, she always talked about Janet. Oh, I want to look like Janet. I want to do this like Janet. Her stronger video was done to replicate what Janet Jackson did in the
Pleasant
Pleasure
principle.
Principle. Like
Mhm.
Janet was Britney's queen, and so you know. I wish that we would get over, or I guess fans would get over this whole battle between Janet and Madonna. To me, there are two completely different artists. They do two completely different things. If you let Janet speak it, hers is a little more on the classier side of things. But hey,
That's how she said it. That's how she said it.
that's what she said in the interview, honey, back in the day. But Janet is her own artist and she has her own iconic history, has her own iconic catalog. Let's just let her have what she has and let's just let Madonna have what she has and keep it at that. I personally don't know who I would have put that crown on, to be honest, because I really think that that's a wide net that you could cast. And a whole lot of artists could claim that title to me. But I will say though that I can't disagree with Lizzo if that's what if that's what she
Mhm.
thinks. Jennifer, what were your thoughts? I don't know if you've heard this or not, but what do you think? Because I know you love you some Janet too, girl.
I don't have enough opinion on it. It's like I don't have a whole lot of love for the other person that they're talking about, which would be a Madonna.
Hmm.
So like the only thing I can respect is like, yeah, she did a lot. She
A
did
whole
a
lot.
whole lot. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And I would never be able to discount that. But as far as somebody that does it the way that I like it, that would
Right.
be Janet. So
Hmm.
I truly believe that conversation, sometimes it may be meant for, I don't know, a broader situation. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's like, it's so tough because Michael, he was just, Michael, it's just a whole nother conversation in that. And
Right.
there could possibly be other people saying that somebody else is the king of pop. But like, yeah, I
Yeah.
never saw it like that for Madonna.
Me either. Me either. Never.
Yeah.
I never really had that interest in her. Like you know, even though there are some songs of hers that I do love, Girl Gone Wild or whatever that song was, I was bumping that thing. I remember I was heading down to Miami for Sizzle, y'all, and I was bumping that thing all the way up, honey. But you know, she's just, you know, Janet's my girl. Janet's been my girl
Yeah.
since back in the day, and you know, I got a ride for my girl. I just want to mention Real Housewives of Atlanta really, really quickly before we get out of
Oh
here.
wait, first,
Oh, go ahead.
Miss Kim says Birdman is through. Tony has lost her damn mind. And Miss Kim also says Janet is the queen of innovation. Nobody was doing what Janet did. She was the first. Janet has always paid Madonna dust. It is pouring down out there.
Dust.
But it's true, as she should. That's another thing, you know, I kind of feel like Madonna has taken from cultures and things of that nature. It's
Right.
like, you know, I think she was most purely herself at the very beginning, you know, the like a virgins, but after that it's like, huh, it is storming outside. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So as far as the Housewives of Atlanta is concerned, I just want to speak my piece on this whole Kenya thing because on the most recent episode, episode 5, go watch my review on JoJo Speaks. Check that out, like it, comment it on all that good stuff. She was wrong for doing what she did, the way that she did it, and in the time that she did it. She did it at the opening of her salon. So
Stupid.
I'm so confused as to why she chose this moment,
Her moment.
her moment. She chose her moment to reveal some, you know, explicit pictures of this girl who threatened her with a pew pew, okay, with a weapon. It's I agree with Cynthia with what Cynthia said at the end of that scene. You're better than that. You're so much better than that. Yes, you're a shady queen. Yes, you know, you got reads for the girls, you know, and we all enjoy that. But this in this moment, like maybe if it didn't happen at her salon and you know it wasn't her moment, then maybe I would feel differently about it. But the fact that she did it at her salon opening made it all about Brit and not at all about Kenya whatsoever.
Stupid.
I do think that it's unfortunate that they've taken out all of Kenya's confessionals for this season. It's so weird to see Kenya in all these scenes and to see her not in any confessionals whatsoever. I think that's horrendous personally, because Kenya adds so much in her confessionals. And, you know, she has a spark in her confessionals as well. And I can't say whether I disagree with them discontinuing filming with her. However, if you're going to discontinue filming with Kenya, you have to then at least consider discontinue filming with Brittany because Brittany literally threatened the woman with a weapon. Literally. Now, there are videos that are coming out revealing that Kenya had said something concerning a weapon and Phaedra back in the day, back in the back days. Not that she was serious. I don't think she was serious, but Brittany did seem kind of serious when she said what she said. But anyways, I think that the fact that this has overshadowed what Brittany said, and now all the people can talk about is what Kenya did at her salon. Kenya just did it the absolute wrong way, and I'm so disappointed because she did it to herself. She literally did it to herself. I hope that she does return to Real Housewives of Atlanta eventually. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to happen or not. Yeah, it is what it is. Jennifer, what are your thoughts on this entire situation?
I personally was really lenient on Kenya for a while until I listened to all of her sins when Funky Dineva was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about how many people she's really pushed in bad ways, and it's like maybe it was finally time for her to get some kind of punishment. Yeah. You know, she already got that kind of punishment because of her not sharing her divorce or marriage and stuff like that. And now, and so now, you know, we're seeing that she's getting what she had coming to her for this. To be honest, the only thing I disagree with is how they didn't do anything to the other lady
Brittany.
for, those kind of
Mhm.
threats. But, hey, God bless. That's all I got. I hope she can, bounce back just like you said. But hey, you shouldn't go too far.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. Just talking about brandishing a weapon, towards and making those kind of threats,
Right.
though illegal, they're still just, threats.
Threats, right, at the end of the day.
That huge photo was like pulling the trigger. So
Yeah.
you got
And
you gotta
so embarrassing. Even though I heard that the photos in question were available online for people to see. I just heard that because if Kenya can find it, then it has to be readily available for anybody to see it, at least in my opinion. I know Kenya probably don't have no type of private investigators that are looking into, something that is unavailable to the general public to find this on her. But I'm sure there was some digging involved, trying to find it. However, that it seems that information was readily available for everyone to see. I heard that it was a part of an actual website that people go to for those types of for that type of content. So it is what it is. But I'm just so disappointed that it has come to this. I'm so disappointed that it has come to this because Kenya may have just ruined her Real Housewives of Atlanta career with her pettiness. And I just think it's so unfortunate. And just like Cynthia said, she's so much better.
But then I think it also kind of says that they might have been trying to get rid of her and been looking for an out.
And she gave them just what they were looking for.
Open the door.
And that's so sad. So sad. Huh. But anyways, any comments before we get on out of here, girl?
Dustin says, have a good night. I love you all.
Good night, Dustin.
That's it.
All right, Jennifer, go ahead and give us your social media context, if you will.
All right, I'm gonna really try to hurry up because it's thundering and raining really hard outside.
Yeah, her video can go out at any time, y'all.
At any moment. Okay, I am the Light of the Leo. You can find me at the Light of the Leo on TikTok, Instagram, and of course YouTube. On YouTube, I go live every Monday at 9 p.m. so that we can decompress on Mondays. Also, every Saturday at 10-ish a.m., we go live on Faithful Warrior Ministries. That's where you will have a good time of fellowshipping and some prayer and some devotional. More reasons to get connected with Christ. And make sure you join us.
Joining us. That just takes me back to Bands of America where that announcer says, joining us from Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah. Anyways, you guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $JonathanLee07. That's $JonathannLee07. Once again, that is JonathannLee07. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this, our Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I love you guys for watching. Good night, Auntie Robin. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you guys join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. But until then, we'll say bye for now. Hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Stay dry and stay warm out there while you guys are out there in those highways and byways. Love y'all for watching.